This interview is dedicated to all the children, adults living with autism, and to their parents who live every single breathing second for their children. I have gotten the chance to interview an amazing man. He's the executive director of POAC Autism Services. His name is Gary Weitzen, and this man gave his heart, soul, and time to share with the world what he's dedicated his life to the people, to the community, for autism services. He shares why he does this, and you'll find his reasons to be very, very touching because it comes close to his heart. What has he done for the last 30 years of his life, dedicated to the community to be together? This man has put countless hours to make sure other people can come together for not only autism, but for family, togetherness, and to grow. I guarantee you, listening to this interview will touch your heart, change your lives, and see how there's so much good out there in the world because of Gary Weitzen and his community and the people at POAC. Thank you, Gary, and for everyone listening, I promise you, you will enjoy. So, Gary, I want to thank you for being here with us today. It's a huge help for me to have this interview so I can share with the people who donated, and from the bottom of my heart and from the bottom of my cousin's heart, and for all the people who want to be a part of this, thank you. So I really appreciate it.
And thank you for all your support, help us to reach even more children.
That's amazing.
It's my pleasure.
We spoke a little bit earlier before we started recording this, but you said something about family. Can you please share that again, because it really touched me?
One of the most important things when you have a child with autism or any special needs, I always say one of the most important things is a community of support, where there's so many kids with autism, but when you get the diagnosis, you often feel all alone. Even though it's the largest developmental disorder out there, you feel you, your spouse, your loved ones, it's just you against the world. And what POAC does, we change all that. It's about becoming family. And it's a beautiful thing to see a rainbow of people, all different backgrounds and shades and religions, join together with the thing they have in common is the love for their child and reflect it back. And it's so beautiful to be able to say to a mom or dad, well, you know what it's like. And they say, yeah, you don't have to say anything else. A line that I use all the time. I have two sisters who I love dearly. I have more in common with your cousins who have a child with autism, or anybody has a child with autism, than my own two sisters who I love, more than life itself, because we've walked in their shoes and vice versa. My son, Christopher, who has autism, he actually calls all of the kids, the thousands of kids that attend our events, his POAC cousins. He goes, "Hi, cousins, how are you?" every time he sees them. So it's that sense of community and family that really makes us, set us apart really from anybody else, I think.
Wow, thank you. That was beautifully said, and I really appreciate it, honestly. And the POAC mantra, could you share that a little with us?
Yeah, the mantra is making lives better every day. There's great organizations looking for a cause or looking for treatments or, looking for this or that. Our thing is, let's help the kids today, not tomorrow. And God bless the organizations that do tomorrow stuff. I want to help all of the children and their families today, to make a difference today. And there's so many, government agencies, well-meaning, but they talk about the future. I'm going to be long gone before some of these changes come about. So let us change one child's life today and multiply that by tens of thousands. And that's what we're all about. Literally today, not tomorrow, today, help everybody.
Today. It's all we have right now, right?
That's it.
Live in the moment. Well, what makes you so involved in POAC? You touched on it already, but I would love to hear it.
It's because of my son Christopher. He's 25 years old, an amazing young man. He's the uh, love of my life, the light of my life. It's because of him there's a POAC today, frankly. He has gone from uh, a very involved, severely impacted individual with autism, completely nonverbal at 5 years old. He didn't know his name was Christopher at 5 years old, to a young man today who, yes, he's going to need help the rest of his life, and someone's going to have to be around him the rest of his life, but he doesn't shut up from the moment he wakes up to the moment he goes to sleep. And you've never met anybody so full of joy and love. He has a way of just kind of holding your hand, and if you were here, he would hold your hand and just make you feel the world's a good place, because he's in it. And it's because of him that I guess I dedicated myself, and it's because of all the families that everybody here at POAC, because it's just not me, all of us at POAC do this every single day for all the kids.
Wow. Tell my cousin Christopher I said hi, and
I will.
give and hold each other's hands. That means
I will.
I really, really would love to meet you all in person and be a part of an event together, not just raise the money on my own doing these extreme endurance challenges, but I would love to be a part of the community and call Christopher my cousin and cousin and go there with my cousins.
Yeah, we would love that. And I always joke that if you ever volunteer for me, I own you for the rest of your life, because you get so much out of it yourself, seeing the joy that your dedication, support brings to these families. It's overwhelming. It truly is. It truly is. So you're invited. And in fact, when you come over here, I expect you there.
I'm definitely coming, 100%. So Gary, I have another question. Can you please share a recent story that has been touching not only to you, but to the other families at POAC that you can share with the community?
I have so many. We had a big event 2 days ago, ice skating. Middle of summer, ice skating. And all of our recreational events, and we have hundreds of them, they include not just a child or adult with autism, always includes the siblings. The entire family is included. And there was this family that drove about an hour and a half to come to this event, which is a long ride in a car for a child with autism. And their beautiful son, pretty impacted by his autism, only has handful of words, literally a handful of words. And the mom and dad, they were so nervous about, well, he's never been ice skating, he's never stepped foot on an ice ring, there were so many people, and he had trouble with the skates. So we took a chair, we put tennis balls on the bottom of the chairs, and then we had our volunteers just skate with them for 2 hours solid. And the boy the whole time was laughing, and he was signing, "I want more." And he actually spoke. He was like, "More." And he only speaks a few words. And for him to speak on his own, it was a huge event. And the mom was crying, and the dad was crying, and his two older brothers, who were young boys themselves, they were so overjoyed. Look at him, how great he is. There's stories like that. I have hundreds of those stories. Hundreds. That was just yesterday.
I believe you. I really believe you. And it seems like not only these events, but the meetings and the moments where people can just gather up together can have those moments shared, whether through a story or in person. Right. Speaking of events, what is the next event that you're hosting, the POAC's hosting, that maybe someone can get involved with?
Yeah, you can get involved with any event. Sorry, my Alexa's answering. Alexa, stop. We have events several a week. We have a huge one in a couple of days, our Father's Day family barbecue. We have a ton of people signed up, inflatable rides, games, DJs, costume characters, any event at all. You can volunteer, or every event we have sponsorship opportunities. So anyone could always sponsor an event. Go right on the website, poac.net, or volunteer. And like I said earlier, if you actually come out and volunteer, you never stop. You never stop. You keep on coming back, event after event.
That's amazing. So there are a few ways that people can help POAC.
Yes.
Could you share a few options?
We have, you could join as a member, anywhere from $40 for individual or $100 as an elite, and that's just a show of support. Not that you get anything for that. It's more like, hey, I like what you're doing. Here's a couple dollars to pay the electric bills, and that's a huge support. Just to make a donation online, if you go on the POAC website, there's a bunch of places. Facebook, one of the easiest things to do. Facebook, right on our website. Facebook fundraisers. It's the easiest thing in the world. Just say, I want to raise money for POAC, and you don't have to do anything. Just send it out to your friends. So it doesn't cost you a penny and virtually no time. And we have been making, hundreds and dollars for each campaign. Some of them a couple $1,000s for each campaign with minimum effort. And what it's nice, it allows us to raise funds to help these beautiful children. And in a way, almost more importantly, it gets our message out there to reach families that might not know us yet. That I'm always thrilled. That's why I love talking to you or talking to anybody, because I know there's a family out there that needs me and they don't know me yet. So I'm always happy for that. And if you just go on the website underneath ways to help, we lay out everything, dress down days at your place of business. We try to make it easy for you to help others. So
that sounds amazing. And I have to say, there was 25 people or families that donated to my 50K for autism. A big thank you to them. All of them really, really saw how much I believe in the organization because of how much my cousins believe in the organization. And if you don't mind sharing with them, where exactly does the money go that they donated? You shared a couple of, as far as events, but just to hear from your mouth, where does the money go?
Well, here's the beautiful thing with us. Being that we're not funded by the government, I wish we were, but we're not funded by the government. All of our money is through fundraisers just like yours, 100%. And all of the money is turned right back into helping these families. So year-long recreational events, year-long trainings, conferences. This year alone, we have 328 days worth of stuff for families. So your cousin could go to something for 328 days. We teach teachers how to teach, parents and caregivers to get the most out of their children. The recreational events, life-altering. And the thing I'm really most deeply personally proud of is all our first responder training. We train police, fire, EMS, how to recognize autism in the field and how to respond. That training has been directly credited with saving lives all over our state. We've done over 68,000 first responders so far. 68,000. Yes.
That's a huge number.
Well, it's insane. And one phone call is all it takes to set it up. And if they want us there at midnight, we're there at midnight. I'm there at midnight doing the training, or at 6 a.m. And the first responders are amazing men and women who just need our information on how to react and, save individuals and just have a good interaction, increase the safety for both, not just individual, but the first responder as well. So that's something it's one of my personal badges of honor that I'm most proud of.
You actually inspired me to skip the questions and ask another question from a personal perspective. But do you train trainers? Because although I'm not highly qualified with autistic children or how to respond to them as a first responder, do you train people so you can train the first responders, or do you do it basically only on the professional level with people who have that experience or that detailed certification?
A little bit of both. I'm a certified law enforcement instructor, so I got certified that way. Plus our training certified for the EMT credits and all of that. We do have specific training for families. family members, parents, caregivers, cousins, to keep your child or loved one safe in the school, home, and community. That's a whole nother piece. Training the first responders, we tend not to do train the trainer because, we have so much knowledge when we're doing the class. If a question comes out, to be able to, answer it with authority and with the knowledge of 20, 30 years behind, it's hard. Have we done some train the trainers specifically for law enforcement? We have, but we tend to do it more one-on-one, the more boots on the ground, and it just works out better. And what's nice, because I wear both hats, the professional hat and the dad hat, I'm able to talk both ways. I understand you as a first responder, and at the same time, let me explain to you what mom or dad are feeling in this situation. And it just gives a lot more credence to it.
I can see that. I can see that. Well, it does have a great segue to my next question regarding books or YouTube videos or movies, specifically books. Do you have a book that you would recommend for someone like me, or maybe my mom wants to read, even though just anyone in the community that wants to know more how they can be of help to support my family and other families with children of autism? What do you have a go-to book or go-to resource?
I have a library. If we were in another room, I would hold a computer. I'm a voracious reader, and on the POAC website, refer back to the website, underneath resources, if you go to online library, are all of my recommended books. I own every single one on there. I've read every single one on there, and I've actually grouped it by category. So if you want, for recently diagnosed, if you're looking for problem behavior, if you're looking for occupational therapy, for sensitivity, depending what your issue is, job training, it's all grouped by category, because there's just not one definitive book out there, because autism is a spectrum, which is so important to understand. You have individuals who are severely impacted by their autism, who are going to need lifelong care forever. And then you have individuals less impacted, and some of the greatest scientists and doctors and teachers may have autism, definitely computer experts and mathematicians, also on the spectrum though. So depending on where the individual is and what part in their life journey they are, we have different books. So definitely go on the POAC website. I recommend every book on there. And there's even books on death and dying, how to explain death of a loved one to a child with autism. We get that question a lot. How to explain to somebody with autism that they actually have autism. We get that question a lot. So just on that, I have 14 books just on that one topic,
Carrie, you have been so amazing, and I can't thank you enough how grateful I am. I know you're a very busy man. You have a lot on your plate. You have over 300 events to plan or to be a part of a year, plus the training. And now you take the time to speak to me, and so I can share this with the people who've donated. It is a huge, huge gift. And if I can ask you one last question, well, before I get to the last question, you've been so accessible to me, and I want other people to know that you are available to help them too. So can you please share how people can find you?
Yeah, the best way is right on the POAC website, poac.net, poac.net, and just hit the contact button. There's only 4 of us. As much as we do, there's only 4 people that work for POAC. So it's me and 3 incredible women who do everything that we do. So if you send the emails or hit the contact button, it's going to be one of the 4 of us getting back to you. And you said thank me. I really want to thank you and all the people that support it, because we cannot do what we do without the support of the community. Life-altering is the word, but it's not strong enough. It changes the lives of just not the child, everybody that loves the child. The ripple effect of your support and the support of all the people that donate it to you will be felt for a lifetime. It really will. So on behalf of just not my son, but all the sons and daughters that your efforts and your friends' efforts have made. I just want to thank you sincerely from the bottom of all of our hearts here at POAC.
I could feel that. I'm in Germany right now, and I know you're in Jersey, and I could feel that all the way.
That's it. See, lots of love out there.
I just felt that way.
You're my cousin now.
Hey, cousin. and I will be a volunteer for life. I can't wait to, when I do come back to America in a few days, I cannot wait to be a part of one of the events. And it's easy to find the events, right? You just have to go online.
Right on the website. And it's funny, your finger's going to get tired because when you go to the events, you have to scroll so much. You go to POAC's website, you ask us what we do, just go to the events and your finger's going to get tired because we have so many things going on. It's that kind of thing. And no matter where you live in the state, we have something going, and it's worth the trip. Like that family the other day who drove an hour and a half, which for you and I, it's not a long time. For them, that was the commitment to have their child in the car for an hour and a half. And I think it might have changed that boy's life. I know it changed his mother's.
The story you just told of him going around and around saying more when that's not even something he does so often, and he did that with everyone watching and him smiling and laughing. That, like you said, it's those stories, it's those moments, and I'm sure that everyone who's watching this who donated will feel that. So thank you for sharing their story, your story. And I'd like to leave off with one last question. What's one message you want to share with the world?
My one message, you're not alone, and things get better. It doesn't get better by sitting back doing nothing. It gets better with knowledge, commitment. Prayer helps a little in there as well, for a little faith in there, but hard work, because that's what our kids need. You want to become the best expert on that child, better than any doctor, any teacher. The parents of these children need to know what their child needs. And frankly, what my child may be very different from what another parent's child needs. We need support and all that, but each child is so different from one another. Just working, and don't give up, and set the bar higher. Set the bar higher. I always like to say, any behavior that you would want from a typical child, expect from a child with special needs. And then just ask two simple questions. Is it a matter of the child can't do this, or is it a matter of the child won't do this? And if he can't do something or she can't do something, we have to teach them. That's on us. We have to teach them. And if they know how to do something but they won't, then we have to reinforce that behavior. And there's a science to it. It's not haphazard. There's a science out there. We know how to teach and reach these kids. So get support, become part of our community. And if you live somewhere else, join that community, and maybe you who starts that community somewhere else. But we're here for you. We're one, and I just want to thank you. And I guess that's it. So again, on behalf of Chris and all of my thousands of children who are out there who all call me Mr. Gary, I just want to thank you.
Wow. Well, big thank you from us and from my cousins, from their children. Huge hug. And I have to say, your last words were amazing. You're not alone. It'll get better, and always try for a brighter day tomorrow. It's always beautiful to hear those words from someone who knows it himself. So I want to just thank you again, and for taking your time, 25 minutes of your time on a busy day, and I can't thank you enough. This interview is proof that there's great souls out in the world who care about others, who dedicate their lives to making sure people come together and really help each other in this community. To Gary Weitzen, thank you so much. To the people who donated, a big thank you. And for anyone out there who wants to join the community, POAC.net, POAC.net has changed my life has changed people I know personally in their lives. A big thank you to everyone who listened. You don't realize how much this ripple effect has had on me and on others. Wish you nothing but an amazing day. Thank you again.